old name is Michael Ainsley. My present name is Thalia Jane Ainsley, and I identify as female. And this is the transgender trip I was on when I was 19 and in Vietnam. I'm really old. Time drifts after midnight for a transgender woman, disconnected from the world. I was not able to tell anybody anything for a long, long time. That was the 50s in those days, and they would beat you up, and they would kill you. And in the service, I heard people say, you know, people like you go into the jungle and they don't come back. It was a broken family. My father was an alcoholic. He beat my mother, and he scared the heck out of my sister and I. I used to hide under my bed with my dog when he came in drunk. I'm not a very deep breather because I was always trying to hold my breath so he wouldn't hear me. I used to pray for a different life because at the age of 7, I realized that there was something wrong with me. I was not right. I was in the wrong body. And I used to pray to God to get me out of it, to put me in the right body.
During the time when you got back, how did you feel emotionally? Was depression an issue for you, and how did you deal with it?
It was terrible because I knew the war was wrong. I'd seen things that nobody should see, really. And so I joined the anti-war movement. Well, when I came back from Vietnam and I got married, I told my wife about it, and she thought it would go away. She thought, you know, she could make it go away. She accepted me for what I am. And as time went by, I said, I want to do this now because the need to do it became greater. And she said she wouldn't live with me if I was a woman because she would feel like a lesbian, and she couldn't do that. And then finally it got to the point where I thought I was going to die without changing, and I told her I was going to leave her, and she said, if you leave me, I'll kill myself. And so I stayed with her. I'm so sick of people saying that transgenders are selfish, because there's a lot of them that are not selfish. They stay and they honor their commitments with the woman they married and with the family they have. So I waited until 2009 when my beautiful wife from 40 years passed away. And I was sitting in this very chair one night after she died. And a sudden realization came to me that I could have the life I had always wanted, that I could begin my transformation. And that was just wonderful. I started feeling more feminine. I started having peace in my mind for the first time. There were no more lies. What a feeling to not have to lie to anybody anymore, and to have all this off your mind, and to start feeling like a human being for the first time in my life at 67. But it's just a joy now. And it has made me more empathetic toward people and more motherly, really. I want to take care of everybody. I have one friend that turned against me. I've known her for 10 years. And I called her up, and she said her and her husband could not be friends with me if I was going to be transgender because their religion forbid it. And it really hurt because we had known each other for so long. And I told her, I said, I don't think God cares what kind of package your soul is in. He just wants you to be a good person and to love other people. And that's what I try to do. And in fact, I have found out that working through the transgender or the LGBT center, I've expressed more love and helped more people than I ever have in my life. And I feel like I'm doing more of God's work there than anywhere.
How does it make you feel that now our country has a transgender ban forced upon the military?
Well, I went on TV when Trump announce that. I'm disgusted and I feel betrayed. I feel that he's betrayed all those people over there that are serving. These transgender soldiers that are in the service that are dying for us are being told they're not good enough. And it's terrible. Nobody should be put down for who they are. And if you say those things enough, saying, transgenders can't serve because they're not good enough, eventually people begin to see them that way. Before I started coming out, I had no friends, I had nothing. So my therapist said I needed to have a backup, somebody to support me, a support system. And she said, I think that if you go down to the LGBT center, that you will find that support group down there. And I did. They're all down there and they're all supporting each other because we're all human beings and we're all struggling. Since I've come here and started my transition, I feel so much freedom. I never knew there's so much joy in life as I do now. And part of it is because of this center.
For anybody that would be in your position that you were when you were 7 or 12 years old, what would you tell them right now?
I would tell them to tell their parents, be brave. If you're not brave, you're gonna just fill your life with sorrow. You've got to be brave enough to speak up for yourself. They say elephants remember everything. And so do I, knowing that it's not always a good thing to remember. But not to worry, all is forgiven in the name of love, and I will dream of you tonight.